Hi everybody. Today I want to go in and have a discussion with you guys on healing crisis. This is something we all need to understand when we're detoxing the body, especially at these levels. For you new viewers that are coming to my channel and watching me for the first time, this is not clean eating. This is detoxifying the body with fruits, berry, and melons and fruit fasting. This is on a whole nother level of your raw food or your raw foods and plant-based foods. This is detoxing the body with cleansing, hydrating, astringent foods. And I believe through my research and my own healing journey that your fruits and your berries and your melons are the cleaners or the power cleaners. Detoxing the body, we're all at different levels of chronic within ourselves. So each person is going to have a different experience when they're detoxing the body. So you have to remember that when we're cleansing and healing, we're all on a different journey and we're all going to have different experiences. And healing crises are real and they do happen. It's almost like, I guess you would say, rewinding the tape. You know, anything that we have suppressed with pharmaceuticals, steroids, anything like that, when we are having a healing crisis and detoxing the body, these things will come up. Some are more settled than others, and our body will show its weaknesses within our body. So we have to be prepared for that. So in my experience, when I first started my detoxing, the first thing I experienced was my headaches. I had the worst headache that lasted for about 24 hours. It really lasted 4 days, but it was the first 24 hours was really, really bad. And it started on one side of my face or my head right here, and I would just lay on that side, and then it just ended up spreading or just all over my head. And which I knew that was going to be one of the things that I was going to experience because I drank almost a pot of coffee a day. So I knew that was going to be one of the things I was going to have to deal with. And since I am going through a healing crisis, I'm not going to go take a pharmaceutical drugs. That's the point of all this, is you're getting away from all that. Everything that we have suppressed, we're finally getting rid of that. I experienced with my healing was my eczema on my hands. I had it on my hands and a little bit on my face. And so this was probably the first week, actually I want to say the first month actually, with my eczema, because it took me a while to get this out. But the first few weeks was really, really horrible because I stopped putting the steroid lotions on my eczema. And that's how I kept it under control for, I don't know, 5 years. So, that really flared up, especially at night when I'd be sleeping. I would wake up in a dead sleep and I'd be scratching my arms and my face. And, these things, that is not fun. If you have any rashes, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not fun at all. It's horrible. And so, and I did share with you in my last videos how I got rid of my eczema really fast was through my saunas. I did sweat it out, a lot of the toxins and heavy metals. I don't know what exactly was causing my eczema, but I did a lot of hot and cold, especially on my face. I would buy these ice packs and I would freeze them, and then I would just put them on my face where the rashes were, and also on my arms, and that really helped. Another thing that we can experience is aches and pains within the body. And again, there's nothing we could really take. So we just have to make ourselves as comfortable as we possibly can. And so if this happens, the only thing I could recommend is getting in a hot tub or a really warm bath, and put some Epsom salts in there and just relax. Just relax and get out of the mind. Maybe put some soft music on, light some candles, and just take this time of detoxing your body. Take advantage of it and give yourself time to heal. I know things are busy and we're working, and life can be crazy. But if you can take a vacation and get on a detoxing program, or just do a 7-day, just to get that, because it's normally just that first few weeks or week that is really hard. After that, you could work and you can maintain this lifestyle of detoxification and still work, I believe, unless you are super chronic. Like I said, everybody is different and everyone's on their own journey, and we're all just going to experience something different. So it's hard for me to say what you're going to experience. But and one of the first things that I noticed too with me was mucus. Now, I thought I was getting sick, but it wasn't like flu. It wasn't like I was getting a flu, like the fevers and all that. It was more just a lot of drainage and a lot of mucus coming out both ends. I don't mean to share too much, but this is part of it. I've got to put myself out there. And, so there was a lot of mucus coming out. And that was the first week. And mucoid plaque, that was probably the second month. I really saw a lot of that. I was also on Dr. Morris' GI broom. And so I did notice a lot of mucoid plaque coming out. For me, I didn't get a lot of those really scary healing crises, thank God. But they are real. And I've heard of some of these, especially when I was getting certified in detoxification. I heard some stories through that, and I'll share a couple with you. But there's another story I want to share first with you, and that is, I had a friend of mine and you have to remember, this is when I first started out my detoxing. So I was not certified yet, and so this was all really new to me. And my girlfriend, she was on a lot of medications. I don't exactly know all the medications that she was on, but I know a lot of them were sleeping meds and some antidepressants, and I don't know what the other ones were, but there was about 7 to 10 pharmaceutical drugs that she was taking at the time. And so she decided she's going to try to wean herself off of these pharmaceuticals. And so she wanted to do a fruit fast with me. And she was going to do a week with me. And she started, and I think it was around day 6 or 7. And she called me up and she was just freaking out. And she was telling me that her body, the mucus was uncontrollable mucus coming out of her nose, out of her other end, and she actually threw some up, mucus. And this mucus was like colors of the rainbow. She said it was like there was red in there, yellow, green. It was just coming out, it was pouring out, and it lasted for that whole 24 hours. And I told her, I'm like, maybe you should go to the emergency room, because I wasn't sure what was going on. I was really new at all this stuff. And you have to know that too. You have to use common sense when you're detoxing the body. If you find blood coming out in the stools, or you get scared, or you just have a bad feeling, it's okay to go to the doctor. In fact, I know Dr. Morris's clinic, they encourage it, that at least if something is wrong, they could stabilize you. And that would be really important for some cases. And normally when you go in, and this happened to my girlfriend, she ended up going to the emergency room, and because she was really scared. She was like, what is this coming out? And of course, after the first 24 hours, it stopped. And so when she went to the hospital or the emergency room, she was telling them what was going on, and they ran a few tests, and they sent her home. They couldn't find anything. And normally that's what's going to happen if you go to the emergency room and you're having a healing crisis. 99% of the time, they're not going to find anything unless it is something else that's going on. So remember that. And if you're taking a lot of pharmaceuticals and you're trying to get off some of these and you hit a fruit fast, this is something that I've experienced through a friend. There are definitely some meds that you have to be careful if you're trying to wean yourself off of. Blood pressure pills. You don't want to just stop taking your blood pressure pills, good Lord. And, insulin, if someone's taking insulin, these are things you just really need to use common sense, when you're detoxing the body. You know your body better than anybody else. So you use your own common sense when you're detoxing the body. And if you feel the need, you need to go to the emergency room, by all means, just go get checked out. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? And when the body is detoxing, it starts purging. And the mucus, I saw so much mucus come out of me. So I can only imagine what my friend was going through when she saw all this mucus coming out. It would have kind of freaked me out. But today when I ever get a healing crisis, I get so excited, especially when I started seeing mucoid plaque come out. Oh my gosh, that was so great, right? And so I welcome healing crisis when they happen. I no longer get really scared of them. Now, my oldest daughter, she was doing a juice fast with me. And she was on I think it was only on day 4, and she couldn't turn her neck. And she had to go to work, so she was like, oh my gosh, did I sleep wrong? Because we thought, well, maybe, she slept wrong. Because sometimes, is it a healing crisis? Did I sleep wrong? But if you want to know for sure if you are in a healing crisis, just eat some cooked foods. Start eating food again, and if it goes away within 24 hours, that was a healing crisis that you just stopped. And that's really a bummer when you stop it. And that's exactly what my daughter did. And so she wasn't sure, but she couldn't turn. She was at work, and so she ended up eating some cooked foods, and within the next day it was gone. So then she was bummed. Then she was like, oh man, now I got to go back and, and try to cause that to happen again, because that, when you're healing, you have to remember you're rewinding everything that we have suppressed since we're born. Even our emotional feelings, everything, all these things that we suppress, they come back. They start to show that self, and yeah, so it's definitely, it could be very scary, but it could also be very, very exciting. And we just take it day by day. And like I said, if you get really scared and you want to stop a healing crisis, eat something cooked, and just use common sense. This is a story that I heard from Robert Morse. And, you can find these on his channel also. He talks about healing crisis. And but there was one lady who, she called in just freaking out. She called into the clinic, and I guess a tumor actually came out of her nose. And she was just like, this fruit's going to kill me. And Dr. Morse was like, what? Do you want me to put the tumor back in your nose? You should be excited. Your body just got rid of a tumor, so these are the things too that, we have to be prepared of. Who knows what the body's going to purge out or, try to get out of the body. And that was over time, I've been doing this now for over 3 years, and some just come up. Like my moles falling off my arm, that was pretty exciting, when they filled up with blood, and I was like, what the heck is that? And then it just dried up and then peeled off like a scab. So, those things are pretty cool, or moles disappearing. I used to have skin tags on my neck, and those are gone. And every now and then I get some that just kind of pop up still to this day. They'll just pop up, and then they just kind of dry up, and they'll kind of itch, and then they just come off. So I'm still, I still have things that just will pop up out of nowhere. Little things now, subtle things, But another thing too is, and this was after a couple years, I hit the fruit again. and I was on day, I think I was on day maybe 12, and my front tooth, and I had a root canal here when I was a little girl, and for some reason it just started throbbing really bad, and it lasted one day. It was just one day, and then it was gone. So I don't know what that was, but I'm trusting my body. It knows what it's doing. If it, you know, old injuries come back. There was a lady who had she had poison oak on her leg when she was a little girl, and like 20 or 15 years later, while she was detoxing, it all came back because she suppressed it. So it never completely healed. So you have to remember that too. Old injuries, old breaks, you know, the body will go back and start repairing things that it didn't before, or if it didn't completely heal before. So keep that in mind. Detoxing the body is really fun. It really is. When you understand what's going on, and you know, you understand just what's going on with the body, it is. It could be really, really exciting. So, you know, just be prepared for anything, and just use common sense when you're healing and detoxing. And so with that, I guess I could end there. I'm sure there's other things that I should probably talk about, or that I'm forgetting. And if so, I'll make a part 2 of Healing Crisis. And another thing I want to let you all know is, so on the 15th is my birthday. I will be 46 years old, or 46 years young. And but after my birthday, I know we'll probably end up going to a plant-based restaurant, and one of my favorite restaurants. We'll probably be doing something like that. But after that, I am really going to start hitting my fruit. I'm going to be really disciplined with myself, and I'm going to be on all fruit and a green drink. And so I will make a video on my green juice that I'll be making. I really do like putting in my greens when I'm detoxing too, just because it's so alkaline. And so I'll be sharing those, one of my recipes with you with that. And so, okay. So I guess that's it. So hope you all have a very blessed day, and I will see you in the next video. God bless. Bye-bye.